Encore exclusive.
Hey, 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 hey. How you doing, good people? Happy Tuesday. Yes, we made it to another Tuesday. It is Talk It Out Tuesday on the Noontime My Time Podcast. We got some things I want to talk about with you is Talk It Out Tuesday. Yeah, you know that. With Tori and MsTONYA. I'm MsTONYA. And I'm happy to be here again. I am. I've missed you guys. Seems like Tuesday can't get here fast enough. And then sometimes it seems like Tuesday might get here a little bit too quickly. But what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to talk about getting back to real dating. Real dating, guys. And I know you're wondering, and I know you're asking, like, what is real dating? What do I mean by that? What do I mean? But you got to know what I'm talking about, because in this world here now, with all of these swipes and likes and all of that stuff has become our norm. It is. It's normal. We're doing this stuff online. And I think it's time for us to take a step back. Step back and let's rekindle that magic of getting to know somebody face to face. That face to face interaction, like in real life, in these real streets, outside of these internet streets. Nothing wrong with them. Don't misunderstand. Nothing wrong with them. But we're talking about how real dating isn't just about meeting new people that you can find online or get in the DM or be on a dating app. We're talking about meeting real people face to face. And dating is a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery too. So you've got to know that and understand that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Tori and I are here to talk about it with you. So you can get in the comments and let us know what you're doing out here in these streets, what you're doing in these dating streets. And if you're in a relationship or if you're married, whatever the status of your relationship is, how did you meet your person? Was it face to face? Was it online? Was it on an app? Did they get in the DM? Get in here and let us know. And let's have that conversation. But before we get so deep into the conversation, before I bring Tori up in here and we start talking, you know what we got to do, guys? Don't ever forget, we got to take care of ourselves. Some people call this lunchtime. We call it noontime, my time, because we are reclaiming some of our time for ourselves. We're trying to get into our wellness, trying to be better people. That's what I want to do. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to get into a little bit of breathing. I hope y'all ready for it. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? Yes, it does. Yes, it feels absolutely wonderful. We got to get that breath work in. Do that for yourself. All right. For those of you who are just joining in, today is Talk It Out Tuesday. We are going to be talking about getting back to real dating beyond the swipe, making those face-to-face connections in today's dating world. What are you doing out here? Hey, my good people, just let me know. It's me, it's MsTONYA. I'm here today, and we're just going to talk about this. I want you to get in here, and I feel like there's a larger conversation to have. So I think it's time for me to bring Miss Tori into this whole thing. That's what we got to do. How you feeling, Tori? Get on in here.
I'm feeling lovely. It's Tuesday already. Seems like we just talked. And if y'all hear a little voice in the background, say hello to Logan. Logan is 4 months old. So he's, hanging out with us today. He our little special guest.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm excited about this topic because dating has changed a lot. I think for me personally, I think we've gotten away from the real essence of dating because we want to talk about beyond the swipe. A lot of times we're swiping, we're shooting a shot in a DM, and for me, that's not real dating. I like real conversations. I like meeting people in person. Now, I will tell you this because people are so crazy these days. If I do go on a date, I'm gonna already tell you guys, I'm gonna have somebody, one of my friends, they're gonna be somewhere close if I need some help in case you're crazy. Or they're gonna be on speed dial or something because people are crazy. But I think we've gotten away from the real essence of dating. I like the face to face and I like real conversations. Like if I'm dating someone and they do a whole lot of texting, you're not really getting to know me, sir. I wanna hear your voice.
Right.
Because text can be misinterpreted a lot. So I think we're getting away from the real essence of dating.
You're right. I feel, and we're so used to it now. It's just really become the norm. But I have to agree with you in some instances because when it comes to text, it's like you have to interpret that a bit. You're not able to read body language. You really don't know the inflection. So I get what you're saying. I do. I see we got somebody in here telling us, hey,
What's up, KJ? What up, girl? You gotta join. Listen, you gotta join us one Tuesday.
For real. She said, well, I'm joining y'all in the chat right now. That's what I'm doing. But dating, let me tell you something. Dating has changed a whole lot. And while like online dating has benefits because we all know people who do online dating. We know couples who have met online, happily married couples, successful couples, they've been doing this and people continue to do it. But while online dating has benefits, which a lot of it has to do with convenience, I think, it's convenient for a lot of people. People actually have a larger access of potential partners. So that pool of potential partners widening, but meeting face to face, that offers something just a little bit more genuine. You know what I mean? just a little bit more genuine. And that's
Absolutely.
right. That's
I had to get
how
I had to get the baby his milk. So that's why I was delayed. Yeah, I hear you.
listen. This is what women do, and this is what we get the opportunity to do because guess what? This our show. Okay. But seriously, I'm not saying anything's wrong with online dating. It absolutely isn't, but I feel like we need to go beyond that swipe. Meeting people face to face really offers us so many more advantages. I personally feel over online dating because it allows for more on, meaningful interactions. I think it's a little bit more on the what's I'm trying to authentic, you know.
Yeah.
You got all of those advantages, just a bit more that you can read. I feel like face to face allows you to have a truer connection, you know. You get to pick up on some of those nonverbal cues like that body language. You're able to read facial expressions. You can hear tones in people's voice. So those are some of the cues that you don't get. Those are the cues that you miss when you're dealing with like online communication. And like you say, when you're dealing with a lot of that text interaction, you're missing a lot of that. You know, the authenticity is just not quite the same because meeting like when you meet a person, that encourage people to be even more, authentic. They're going to be more
Right.
genuine because they're right there. You're right there. They're looking at you. So that leaves
Right.
less room for creating like these idealized versions of yourself, which you can always do with your online profile. People can build themselves up and say who they want to be. So I like that face to face, you know?
Right. Because that tone, that body language and that tone is everything. You could pick up on a lot from the tone and the body language. Like you could tell if somebody really want to be there and they truly enjoy themselves, or whether or not they're ready to go. Because I mean, I've been on a date before, and I was like, oh my god, I really don't want to be here. And he picked it up that I didn't want to be there. It's like, you ready to go home? Like, yeah.
You're right. That
This
face
this
to
ain't
face,
this ain't it, bro. This ain't it.
you're right. Because guess what? And when you're right there face to face like that, you get to feel that instant chemistry because there's a physical presence that you have. And that physical presence, it allows you to kind of gauge whether or not you have a chemistry. You can gauge that attraction. And that's going to be challenging if you're just online trying to look at a picture and figure out if there's going to be some chemistry based on that or based on online messaging. How I don't know how people do that. And so I can't judge it because I've never really done it, but nothing beats that physical presence, that real time communication. Real time. It allows you to be spontaneous. Um, you got to be natural, even if you're uncomfortable, which is actually okay. Even if there's a little uncomfort, because sometimes people are a little nervous on dates. That's not necessarily a bad thing because to me, sometimes when I can feel or see that little nervousness, it indicates to me like, okay, well, this person is really kind of interested because you're not going to be nervous. You're nervous when you care about something or you're trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? So a little
Right.
nervousness is okay. I don't mind seeing that. That's probably something that you really want to see, you know?
Right. Right. What's up, Erica? She said, hey, ladies, if I go on a date, my friends have a picture of the person, the make of their car, and the license plate number because you just never know. And I have to protect myself. Listen. And this is something else new that we do. I like to share my location too.
Mhm, mhm.
I will do that as well. In these dating this time of age, yeah, I don't like sharing my location, but on those particular times, I'll share my location. Like, we here, so you don't have no problems finding me.
So let me ask a question then. when you're going on a date and you're leaving all of this information, and I'm asking this to you, Erica, as well, or anyone in the comments who would like to respond to this. I do think that is good. I particularly like to tell young people, young girls, to do that. Make sure your girlfriends, because you or somebody knows, because oftentimes people feel like they don't really want someone in their business. So you're not going to tell your mom necessarily, but someone needs to have an idea. But the question I want to ask is this: where are you meeting these people when you decide to leave all of this information? Like, where did you initially meet this person? Is this someone that you met online, or was this a face-to-face, person that you met and then you decided to do that? Let me know.
Me personally, I met someone through a mutual friend. And we first initially started having conversations over the phone. Then he was like, "Well, I would like to meet you." I was like, "Okay, cool. We can meet." And this was the thing. I was already leery anyway because they had a past record, let's so to say. So I was a little nervous and apprehensive, but he had a great conversation. And sometimes, people change. And
Mhm.
so he's like, "I would love to meet you." He's like, "You're such a pleasant person. You're so peaceful. I look forward to, talking to you and all of this stuff." And
Mhm.
so I was like, "Okay, we can meet." So that was the thing. We met through a mutual friend, and initially we started talking over the phone. So then he wanted to meet me in person.
Okay.
And Erica
Okay.
says, "Oh, you putting the comment up. Go ahead." Erica says, "Me too. I share my location when I go on dates too."
Okay.
And she said, "I do it both. I do it both." Okay, cool.
Okay, so she's talking about she does it both, whether she meets the person face to face or if she's met them online. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can. Um, but I really just wanna know if people are really finding it better. I don't know if we wanna judge it. If they're finding it better to meet and date people that you meet face to face, or
Mhm.
is this online really helping you in your dating world? Is it helping, or is it hurting? Because I'm trying to understand it. I just feel like in-person meetings just provide me with a better opportunity to understand this person. I can be there, I can be in a conversation, I can understand their personality. You pick on
Right.
you pick out, like, their sense of humor based on the conversation, and just their overall character, you know what I mean?
And let me say this, I met a guy online. This was years ago when I first started in radio. Probably like over 20 something years ago. I met this guy online. And y'all, we talked a lot. We started out initially talking via email, then we started talking over the phone. But I will say about online dating, it's so easy for you to be catfish. Because then he said, "Well, let me come to the radio station and see you."
Mhm.
Y'all, this guy came to the radio station. He looked nothing like his picture. His picture online, he was like a pecan tan dude with curly hair. Saw this joker in person. Listen, I love my dark skinned men, but he was dark skinned and his hair was not kept, and I'm like, what?
Hey, you're right.
And there has to be some type of attraction. But yeah, he got me. He had some great conversation. But he posted a picture and it was not him. I'm like, who did you post? Because that's not you. Now his voice and everything was the same, but the picture was not him. So we have to
Oh,
be careful with that. I got catfish, y'all.
oh my god, so Lindsay is she's like, "Oh, that's horrible." Th
Yeah, I
Listen,
got catfish.
that's the thing, because people they can put the pictures from 1978 when they look different, when they look younger, when they thought they were looking their best, or whatever the case may be, but hey, you
Yeah,
never
yeah,
know. You get to paint
yeah.
that picture of how you wanna, be perceived with your profile.
Right. KJ says, personally, I rather date someone I met face to face. I just get weirded out about meeting up with someone I don't know at all. Right.
I feel the same way. Like, that is a little bit scary to me. You know,
Yeah.
that face to face, I feel like it puts me in a position to have fewer expectation discrepancies, right?
Right, right. And y'all know something else. You know what something else that freaks me out? Okay, you know how you have people that you're friends with, males that you're friends with on Facebook, and they go through and they like all your pictures. They like now, mind you, it's 2023, but you liking a picture from 2017. So that tells me you just lurking on my page. Now that's scary to me too. Like you go and like 30 pictures at one time within 5 minutes. That
That
scares
that
me. That makes me nervous.
there's a little side eye when it comes to that. There's quite a side eye.
KJ says, ooh, not the catfish.
Mhm.
Lindsay says, exactly.
Yeah, when they're going through all of those pictures, but that you got to do the side eye. But maybe they just found your page and they're like, "Hey, let me just scroll through here and see what I'm seeing," and they just on a like high.
And Erica says, yes, why?
Control your likes.
At least do about 2 or 3 and do some more tomorrow. Something.
Yeah,
But
pace
30
them.
in 5 minutes? Come on,
Pace
man.
'em.
At this point, you just need to DM me like I like you a lot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me ask this question. Okay,
Okay.
what are some, like, in terms of how people dating? Because, like I say, we online has really kind of come in here, and it's really changed the dating atmosphere. So
Mm-hmm.
when people go online, they get to kind of learn a little bit about you, or at least they're learning what is published, right?
Right.
So how difficult is it to go on those first dates and allow a person to know that, hey, I'd really like to get to know you, because that's really what those
Mm-hmm.
first dates are. You're really just starting to get to know someone without anything else. Like, no other expectations. I mean, but intentionally and in good faith, really
Right.
trying to learn who this person is. What are some of those first dates like?
It's been a long time since I've been on first date, but the first dates initially, I'm okay with the first date. Of course, I don't have any expectations, but I will say younger dating, my younger days dating is different from now. And what I mean by that, when I dated in my 20s and, like in college, teens and college, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I went on dates just to get a free meal. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie and tell that story. But now
Oh,
I date with I
Lord.
now I date with the purpose, and I'm very intentional about dating because I'm older now and I'm wiser. And there were times in school I was like, I put myself in some dangerous situations. So now I date with a purpose and I date with intentions, but I don't ever enter the dating arena with expectations. I just want to see how the flow goes. If I like this person conversation, do they have conversations? What exactly are they talking about? Because I'm what you call a what's the term? Sapiosexual. And what that is, I'm attracted to intelligence. If you have
Mhm.
intelligent conversation, that's an attraction to me. And nothing like a good smelling man either. But I love a man that is very intelligent. And I probably shouldn't have said that. I should probably shouldn't have said that because now somebody gonna read the dictionary. Ooh, and they start using all these big words.
Well, the conversation is still gonna have to be, authentic, you know what I mean? So, I got
Yeah.
you. I got
Yes.
you.
But I
And
love a great conversation.
You're
But
right.
I'm
You
always, but I always, even my 20s, I've always let people know if I went out with someone I did not know, I always let people know where I am and who I'm with. But now with technology, you could tell, like Erica said, tell everything, the license plate, everything. But back then,
right.
I'll just be like, we didn't have all of that back then, so I'll just say, well, I'm gonna be this place and this with this person, and we
Mhm.
didn't have all of this technology we have now,
Yeah,
like sharing your location and all of that. But I'm always gonna tell somebody where I am.
that's
So,
good.
and I don't, like I said, I'm never gonna have any expectations. Or I'm expecting this, but some men have expectations. Whew.
Yeah, 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 you're right. You're right. But I just want to go back to when you were talking about that conversation piece and that person being able to communicate. That's one of my, that's in my top lists of pros that's going to be good on a date. Like those social skills, like communication and interpersonal skills. I need to know that this person is confident in social situations. I like to know how they're handling themselves, hear where their conversation is, where their conversation
Mhm.
could go. That's
Mhm.
really important. And dating is just about getting to know new people. And so I feel like if I don't know if women, this isn't a message just for women. This is really for women and men. I think we should not put so much pressure on ourselves and realize that dating is an opportunity, like we say, to get to know people. You got opportunity for growth because it's exposing you to new experiences, new perspectives, and that's helping you grow as an individual because you learn a lot about yourself when you're on a date. Because when you're having a conversation about with a person and the way you respond, the questions that they ask, you're figuring out a lot of things about yourself. Certain triggers come up when you're dating, certain things that you might not like or that you think you don't like. You're figuring those things out. Certain things might remind you of a previous person you dated. And so all of those things are happening. So that's in person, in
Right.
person, you get to
Right.
have those emotional connections, right? And that's
Right.
meaningful.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go out and have some fun. That's what dating is for. It's for fun and enjoyment. It's supposed to be enjoyable. Just have a good time spending your time with someone and exploring activities together, doing some new things, maybe discovering new foods that you might want to try, just learning new things as well. I want to
Right.
learn stuff from people that I go out with. Oftentimes people feel like they're looking for someone, quote unquote, like similar to them. I'm not necessarily. I want to learn something else. Um,
Right.
so I think that's important. Work on your social
Yeah.
skills. Dating helps
Mhm.
you do that. Like I say, you get to share these different activities, different hobbies, interests. Dating is fun.
It
So get out
is.
here and date. And I think we should let dating be what it is. We're not talking
Right.
about sex here. We're talking about dating. We're just talking about getting to know people, and you get to know them. And if you decide that you want to take it further, then you have the opportunity to do that. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And I'm glad you said something about the activities because I had a gentleman to introduce me to horseback riding. Now, I was like, that's interesting. It's fun, but I didn't particularly care for it, but I was open to it and I actually got on the horse. But I was like, hey, bro, get me off this horse. I was afraid the horse was going to throw me off. But he did introduce something new to me and I was open to trying something different. So it was pretty cool.
That's good.
And Erica says, I date with a purpose and I want someone who is not just pleasant to the eye, but can also stimulate my mind also. Absolutely. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Exactly what I mean. And then Erica also says, I don't even know if men know how to do that anymore because it seems like the roles have changed and men are more emotional now and more want to be kept, which is crazy. That's true.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's
There's a lot in there.
now about that's a lot.
Let me put that back up again.
I don't even know if men know how to do that anymore because it seems like the roles have changed and men are more emotional now and more want to be kept, which is crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
that's deep,
girl,
Erica.
you're gonna have to find a type of man that you're gonna have to find a different type. But you're absolutely right. I mean, you've got to meet these people face to face so that you can gauge that. You can feel like where they're
Right,
coming from. And
right.
that's really important. But for me, and then too, we here's the interesting thing, and I'm trying to figure out how I can describe this so that it can be inclusive for everyone. Um, okay, well, let's just talk about masculine and feminine energy, right?
Mm,
So, in respect to having that masculine and feminine energy, if you are expressing your feminine energy, obviously you are looking more to gain that masculine energy. And if you're out with someone who is expressing his masculine energy, obviously he's looking for that woman who is displaying the feminine. That's what he wants. Typically that's what those two opposites, because even in a same sex dating situation there is going to be one person who is expressing more of a masculine most times and another expressing more of a feminine. That's really where that chemistry comes in with the relationship, right?
right,
So
right.
as she's saying here that a lot of men seem to be more emotional. Well, yeah, and I think men have always been emotional, but they want to. It seems like they used to really express that more in home, or perhaps more internally. So I don't say that they shouldn't express their feelings, but I certainly feel like you as a woman who is expressing your feminine energy, you gotta make him bring that masculine out. Does that make sense to y'all?
Mm. Yeah, it does. It does. But some, I feel what she's saying because some men they just, mm.
Well, that ain't your man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right,
That's
right,
that's
right,
your Blue's
right,
Clue. I'm saying
right,
what I'm
right.
saying without saying what I'm saying. That is your
Yeah,
Blue's Clue. That ain't your man. Okay?
it ain't, it ain't.
Right. And then too, you gotta remember this. Like we say, we're out here dating, we're meeting these people face to face, and that's okay. So you can go out on a date and it just might not click. Remember,
Mhm.
not everybody is necessarily going to be interested, and they might not reciprocate the same thing that you're feeling, but you got to know that that's okay. I feel like the
Right,
key is to approach the situation with your genuine interests, with some, basic respect and a willingness to connect to someone on a deeper level. That's all you can do. So you do that. You
right,
go in with your genuine interests, and you do that respectfully. And just be willing to learn a little bit about this person, be willing to make a connection. And if that does not happen, or if the person is not interested and they're not interested in reciprocating what you're putting out, that's okay. You got to move on, because there's a whole lot of folks out here in this world, you know what I mean?
right, right. And Erica says, "Yeah, but I shouldn't have to bring out that the first date, Tanya. The
Well,
first date."
you know what? I'm going to say you should be paying attention to that on the first date, because if it's not there the first date, then why are we going on two? Because I already got my clue.
Yeah.
I got my clue. You want that true connection, that face-to-face interaction, because that is what is allowing a deeper sense of some type of connection. There's those things
Right,
you're gonna pick up on those non-verbal clues, that body
right,
language, those facial expressions. We talked about this, that tone in the voice. Those are your cues that you often miss when you're just doing online communication. You don't know how authentic this person is being, because you gotta see them. You gotta feel them, It's gonna be about more than words. Feeling that chemistry,
right.
right?
No,
Now I think go ahead.
I was gonna ask the question, do you guys when you guys go on dates, do you pay attention to how they treat the hostess, the waiters, and all of that? If they're nasty or You know what I mean? Do you, or maybe it's just me, do you pay attention to how they treat your server?
Yeah, I do. I certainly
That's
do.
huge to
How you
me.
treat people,
Yes, that I pay attention to stuff like that.
how you treat people who will do nothing for you or that you may not see again. That's really important.
Right. And Lindsay says, yes, I do. Yep. See, I thought it was just me. Yeah, I pay attention. Erica says, most definitely. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh. Lord. KJ says, I think it's important for men to be in tune with their emotions, especially when dating. At least have some type of emotional intelligence. That's the key, KJ. You got to have emotional intelligence. That's
Absolutely.
the key right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And see, and I feel like when because we're talking about people just getting this face to face in. Not being
Hmm.
so fearful. I feel like the online has given too many people a crutch. These dating apps have given so many people a crutch until they really don't know how to communicate anymore. They're really afraid. They have really become so afraid. And you know what I'm getting ready to talk about, Tori, because we talked about this when we were talking about shooting the shots. The main reason why we were afraid to shoot shots was because of rejection.
Right.
Not
Right.
everyone you date will be interested in pursuing a deeper connection, which can be emotionally challenging.
It
But
can be.
you gotta take that, and you should, because if that person is being honest, that's what you want. You don't want to be wasting time. You can't build a relationship inside of your head. That's time consuming. You know, and that's taking
Right.
yourself down a path that like you really the only one in a relationship. Don't do that to yourself. But
Mhm.
when you think about dating, and when you think about the opportunities for learning people, you got to understand too that dating requires time. There's a time investment here. So dating impacts your life in several ways. So you've really got to find a space in place, particularly if you work, you have your home life, you may have kids, whatever it is that you have to balance. And then when you bring dating into that whole equation, you've got to realize that, hey, I've got to invest some time in this. And you really have to do that. And I find that and I don't know about yourself, Tori, but often when people have gaps within their relationships and they take time for themselves, sometimes that can be good and sometimes that could be bad because I feel like we end up spoiling ourselves. We don't have to you know, think about our time as it relates to spending it with someone else or including someone else or thinking about, okay, well, I've got to, I got to make sure that I give this time to this person. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. And it's
Yeah.
funny that you say something about time because I don't know if anybody is anal as I am when it comes to time. I don't like for my time to be wasted. If you say that we're gonna meet at a certain location at 9:30, I need you to be there at least by 9:15. Don't show up at 9:40, 9:45, then apologizing instead of just simply communicating, I'm running late or
Right.
waiting the day of to cancel. I don't like the I don't like the last minute stuff. I can't stand it. And then like I've had and one of my friends like Tori, you just block people like with don't care. But I remember this guy told me like I'm gonna call you at 9 o'clock and you're gonna come calling me at 10:30.
Ooh.
Block, block,
Yeah, I
block.
probably wouldn't have
But
been able to
but here's
block
the
because
thing.
I would have been asleep.
But here's the thing though, Tanya. I gave them 3 opportunities. Every time you told me you was gonna call at a certain time, it was either
Mhm.
hour or more than an hour later. So that third time, block,
That was it. I get you because
block.
you've got to make your word valuable. you
Right.
know?
Right.
And once you already know that this is how a person is, then you're not really taking them serious. You're not even expecting the call anymore. So they really have no priority in your life, and clearly you don't have a priority in theirs, you know? I see we got some
Right.
masculine energy rolling up in here.
What's up, Ty? Ty in the building. Ty says, I never knew how much I enjoy my free time until I was in a fully committed relationship. You know what, Ty?
That's true. Because you have to balance that time. You have to balance your time because it is an investment.
But I'm glad he said that because even though I desire a relationship, I desire marriage, but there are times where I say, you know what? I like my alone time. I like my peace. Do I really want to get in a relationship?
Mhm.
So it's funny
Yeah.
that he say that because I love me so much. I like to take myself out. I like to just spend time with me so much. And I'm like, well, I allow someone to come into that? Because right now, it's my life is so peaceful, no drama, no nothing. Ty says just to have to manage it better, just have to manage it. Yeah, that too. But
Yeah, you do.
I'm considering if I want somebody invading my space. Lindsay says never divorce yourself. Oh, that's good, Lindsay.
Mhm.
That's real good. Never divorce yourself. That's real good. Lindsay says it's all about balance.
There it
Absolutely.
is. And that and I like that. All of those things are true, and it definitely is about balance because when you are dating and when you, get into relationships, you do have to work that time in for other people. You have to value their time as well as you have to value your time. So, like Lindsay said, you never really divorce yourself. You still get to have some of those alone times, and with that person that you're communicating with, you openly communicate like, "Hey, there's some times that I'm gonna need for myself." That comes in with the boundaries that you set. So you set and you respect a certain personal boundaries, and that's necessary for a healthy dynamic. So you gotta do that.
Absolutely.
And have some
Absolutely.
patience when you're first getting to know someone. You got to have patience when you're building those connections because it takes time. You can't rush it. You're not going to immediately really know a person. Like, people will say like, "Hey, I'm an open book," but listen, how many pages am I reading at one time? And am I reading this book at one time? I might not have time to even read this book at one time. I might read a little bit and put it down. I want to read it and digest it a little bit. So you've gotta, you gotta have a little patience. You gotta set those boundaries, and be yourself. Be
Right.
yourself. Be your
Right.
authentic self. That is so key. Present yourself honestly and openly, because if you can't do that, if you can't present yourself honestly and openly with this person that you're trying to get to know, then I don't think you don't need to continue getting to know that person, because
Right.
you shouldn't do that. Don't do that to yourself. The whole idea is that I am going to be able to be my full self, and someone is interested in that and like that. I don't want them to have any false or mismatched expectations, because people have very different expectations, and that's going to lead to misunderstandings, and that's going to lead to you being disappointed, right?
Right.
Yes. So take that pressure off. Take that pressure off of yourself. A lot of people have that
Right.
pressure on when they're trying to impress someone, when they're trying to maintain someone's interest, and that can be stressful, but take that off. You just
Mm.
be your authentic self. That's if that's what you want. If you wanna be pretending, I don't know why you wanna do that, but if you wanna be pretending, believe me, that's not gonna be a relationship that is gonna work out. That's not a good dating situation, you know?
That's one thing I'm not gonna pretend. to be somebody I'm not. Because I remember this guy took me for first date. He took me to this place. What's that place? I think it's what's the restaurant where they cook the food in front of you? I think it's Miyabi, the
Yeah, like
Japanese.
the
Is it?
Japanese restaurants, right?
Yes. And they was cooking the food on the plate, with the fire, and it's a lot of food. So dude was like, he was like, so Tori, you could take some of it home. Bruh, no, I'm gonna eat all of this right now. I ain't no what you thought this was. I ain't no salad eating chick. You might be takeout salad. I'm gonna eat my food. He said, you gonna eat all it? And is and did.
I'm getting
Listen,
ready to eat this.
you gonna know on the first date that I'm greedy.
Well, they did say you should leave a little something on the plate just to be polite.
They just I agree with Tori. I'm very particular about my time. Set those boundaries and stick to them. Absolutely. You're not gonna waste my time. And Ty says authentic. Yep, I am going to be just that.
Yeah, I
And Lindsay
mean, what Lindsay doing?
laughing, child.
Because you funny. Okay. You off the doggone chain. Tori's like, I'm getting ready to eat. No, I'm not taking nothing home. I'm getting ready to eat all of this.
Listen. And then when we leave, probably an hour later, I may ask you, hey, let's go back. Listen, I'm gonna be y'all. I like to eat. So whoever's listening may want to jump in the DM. Let know that your pockets you're gonna feed me. I don't care how much we could do a 4 for 4. I don't care about the money, but I'm Tori gonna eat.
Okay, let me ask another question because you cracking me up. Okay, so like when you're expressing an interest in dating or getting to know someone, right?
Mhm.
Like what are some of those verbal or nonverbal clues or cues, I should say, that you find are important when you're right there face to face? What are some of the things that are important? And by that I mean like let me give one for instance, like eye contact. Like when you're
Yeah.
talking to someone and you maintain a certain eye contact, I feel like that kind of shows that you're engaged. So the person knows that you're interested, or at least they're engaged enough to be interested in what you're saying. I think that's something.
That's huge for me, the eye contact. And one thing that I cannot stand, like matter of fact, this guy that I was talking about took me to Miyabi's. That particular date, his phone kept ringing. He kept looking at his phone. I'm like, hey, is this something you need to handle? And I said, you sure you don't want to take that call? You sure you don't need your phone? Somebody blowing you up. You need to handle that. And so
Right.
finally he's like, he answered the phone. He's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna call you back. So then I guess I'm assuming, I don't know. He must have put the phone on silent because I didn't hear it ring anymore. But that's huge for me. If you're constantly on your phone, whether it be in texting or you constantly getting phone calls, that's a red flag to me. Lindsay says eye contact and not in your phone. See, that's what I'm saying. When you on your phone like that, ooh, that's a pet peeve. Erica says I'm learning patience while trying to date because I'm still pretty protective of my personal space since I've been single for a number of years. But there are times when I do want to have someone in my life. I am. My time is valuable. I just don't give it to anyone. Absolutely. Time is very valuable.
Right. Right. But see, that's the and you know what? That's the thing. That's the part we were talking about just a little bit earlier. Like when you're single for a long time, you end up spoiling yourself, you know,
Mm.
because you've gotten so set in your ways. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to be concerned about anyone. You don't have to be concerned about your time or spending your time, how you do that. But I don't know. You do have to be patient, but you also really just have to get out there and date because dating is that's your opportunity for growth. You want to have fun. You want to be able to have adult conversations, sit across the table from someone who has a genuine interest in your day or conversation, sharing some type of activity. That's what you want to
Right.
do. So
Right.
you just got to get out there and see. And I think where people get a little confused, and I don't know if
Mhm.
confused is a word that I really want to use, but I think people take things too far too quickly. So I like that she said I need to be patient, but I mean patience in a different way, because when you're initially beginning the date, you're just at that stage of learning who that person is. So you do need to be patient. You need to be patient because building connections, it takes time. Don't rush that. Don't rush that at
Right.
all, right?
Right.
So
And Lindsay,
let's not immediately go from dating to thinking that you're in a relationship. Know that
mm,
dating has a window. And you
mm,
don't have to decide that it has to go to the next place. It may not go there. You have to be willing to
right.
date people and know that that person may not wanna take it any further. Like, you might wanna take it further and they don't reciprocate that same feeling. But you gotta know that that's okay. You can't feel like it was a waste of your time because you did give that person an opportunity to know who you were, and you got
Mhm.
the opportunity to see and know who they are. So I feel
Right.
like we would date better if we took that expectation off of it having to go further than dating. Enjoy the dating stage. Enjoy getting to know the person. Have some fun meals. Take some, that pressure off and don't even think about where it's going to go. Stay in the moment of where you are. I'm getting to know this person. They're interesting. I'm getting to know this person. They may not be interesting. So we may not have to go on further dates. Let dating be dating.
Right. And Lindsay also said, when we were talking about what are some of the deal breakers on a date, she said conversations that have substance. We were talking about when you go on that first initial date, what do you pay attention to? And she said conversations that have substance. Absolutely. The conversation has to have substance because that's what happened to me. You remember I told you guys early on in the conversation when the guy like, you want me to take you home? Yeah. The conversation was just dry. Like, yeah, take me home. KJ says, I will never forget one time I was at a restaurant and the guy looked at me and said, dang, is the food that good? It sure was.
Hey, somebody else is greedy like you. Somebody is not getting ready to let a plate go back with anything on it. Oh, Lord. That's funny.
Erica says, I agree. Dating does have a window. It allows me the ability to have options, whether it be getting a new male acquaintance or something more. Absolutely. And
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tanya, because the guy that I was telling you, another guy that I went out with, that had a record, I was like, I'm an encourager by nature. And I would send him answer when we were having conversations. I would send him encouraging messages. I would just, because like I said, people can change just because we all have a past. And I was like, I was like giving him the benefit of the doubt. So I would send him encouraging messages, and like when he would feel down, I would just give him some encouraging words. So
Mhm.
when we met in person, it he was kind of like, I'm not big on, how some people are touchy feely. Bruh, I don't know you. I'm gonna need you to keep your hands to yourself. He said, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And he just like, I'm like,
Wow.
bruh, give me like 6 feet, please. And so and so we had a conversation after the initial meeting. Then the conversation went to the left. And what I mean by to the left was that he started talking start having inappropriate conversations. And then that's when I blocked him. And
Yeah.
so the mutual friend that introduced us was like, well, Tori, what happened? He was like, before he started talking to you, he was coming to work early. He was, coming to work doing overtime. Now he's showing up late.
Mhm.
Talking about he can't reach you. So what you do today? I said, listen, I ain't do nothing. I just was giving him encouraging word, but he went to start talking inappropriately, so he got blocked. So I think he
See?
ended up losing his job.
Well, I tell you what though, what I do hear in that is like when, you guys were having the the interactions through text and stuff like that, that's one thing. But when it
Right.
came to the face to face, you know, you were able to deal with something else. So you got the opportunity to listen to your gut feelings, and you have to trust your instincts. So if
Right.
something feels off, you know that you got to step back, and you got to know that it's okay to step back. That's why you need to get those face to face interactions in. I think that's so
Mm.
important, because if you become so involved, or feel like you become so emotionally invested in someone just based on online and text communication, you don't know what that's going to be like when you meet face to face. And you've got to be able to
Right.
manage those expectations. You do.
Right.
So,
Right. I was like, what? I was like, what's
yeah.
going on? Because y'all know how on in these internet streets that what's been trending for a few months now. I see people say they go on a couple dates and they like the person. They be like, we go together real bad. That's how it was. We go together real bad.
See, listen,
Like,
I
bro, I
don't know
don't
how
know
to do
you.
that.
Like, bro, I don't know you. Can you give me 6 feet? I mean,
Yeah.
immediately you started touching me. No, no, no. It don't work like that, bro.
Mhm. But, you know, like we say, I get it, but I feel like
Yeah.
people gotta, you get to figure that out. You get to
Right.
figure that out. So balance and manage your
Right.
time. Have some patience.
Right.
Realize that building those connections is just gonna take some time. And again, we're talking about dating. Be happy. Be happy if you learn that this thing isn't gonna go somewhere else, because still there's a lesson there. I think that all of us
Mhm.
have to be willing to handle rejection, because if
Right.
rejected, I don't necessarily think that you have to take that so personally. I think that you can take that or see that as an opportunity to find a better match, you know?
Right.
Um, I
Right.
think it gives you an opportunity to reflect on that dating experience and learn something from that. Where can I improve? What are some of the
Right.
things that I can pay attention to earlier, you know?
Right. Right.
You gotta remember that dating really is a journey. So there's gonna be some little ups, there's gonna be some downs, but you have to be willing to communicate. I feel like people can get through anything if they are willing to have some hard conversations. Now, obviously, when you don't have a match, it's not gonna get that far, but
Mhm.
just be willing. Just stop being afraid of rejection, like your life is getting ready to be ruined because this person didn't accept what you felt like you wanted. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do
Right.
that, because really, to be honest, you don't really even know.
Right. Because I've actually, and Lindsay says indeed, because I've actually made some very, even though the it didn't become a relationship, but I made some very valuable male friends, and from dating. We went on a date, it didn't work out, but we became great friends. And I love
Exactly.
having a conversation with my male friends because they give you the male perspective, like, oh, well, Tori, look at it this way. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I met some amazing men, but they, even though we wasn't a fit, they're a great, valuable friend that gives me a lot of
Exact
insight on certain things.
Yes. And that's what it is. So, we're almost here at our hour here, but I feel like we shared a lot of good comments and had a lot of a good little conversation. Let dating be dating. Learn the
Yeah.
person, figure it out, have some fun, go out, share your hobbies, your interests, do some fun things, right? There
Right.
there
And
is a potential for love. There is that, but don't put that pressure on yourself or that person. Just figure out if they're the right person.
Right. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay says, great conversation. Thank you for that, Lindsay. And I also want to say this, everybody defines dating differently. Some people define dating as, you go out on dates with multiple people. There are some people that they only like to concentrate on one person. But however you define dating, let that be your definition of dating. And if you choose to go exclusively with a person, like if you're dating multiple people, you will know, your discernment will tell you which what person is the right fit for you. Now, when we talk about dating, you're dating multiple people, I'm not saying, some people say this, but I don't say that you are actually engaging in any type of physical activity with these people. You are gathering data, getting to know them. That does not mean, get to know them in other ways,
Absolutely.
but some people take it, and I'm just like, no, we're not doing
No,
that.
dating is dating, and whether you're dating multiple people, I feel like that really is what dating is. It's a process of
Mhm.
elimination. You're figuring out who's the right fit for you. So,
Right.
and that's a whole nother conversation. I feel like we could definitely touch this at another point, but
Yeah.
sure, it's a process of elimination, figuring out if this is going to be a fit, figuring out if I want to go further with this person, because you're right. What you said is right. We're talking about dating. We're not talking about sexual relationships. They're not, they're exclusively different. Um, they're exclusively different. They
Right.
are.
They are.
They
They
are.
are.
So that's that. We won't go too much into that, but we can have that conversation, and we probably should. So go out here and
Absolutely.
have some fun, meet some people face to face. You're online, you're scrolling, you're swiping. Do what you do. Meet people how you want to meet them. I just kind of like that face to face. I want to be able to look in your eyes. I want to be able to hear your voice. I want to see what your table manners are like. I can learn a
Right.
lot about you. Let me see what your vehicle looks like. Let me see what you're riding in. There's a lot that you can tell. There's a lot you can tell about a person. I'm telling you.
And if
Small
and I
clues.
was and I was just gonna say, if you're texting a lot and I tell you to call me and you still text me, guess what's gonna happen? Gonna
What
get
get ready to
blocked.
happen? Oh man, you be blocking like whoa. Block, 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 block.
Tanya, if you get my phone and you see everybody on my, you like, dang, Tori, you got everybody blocking.
I mean, you just blocking, blocking, blocking. Okay. Okay. I don't know what your dating scene is like. Block. Okay. We gonna keep
Oh,
that in mind. We
Jesus.
we, we see what Tori doing. We see what you doing. All right, girl. I'm getting ready to get on out of here. Y'all go ahead and make sure that you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you had a good lunchtime
Absolutely.
and a little bit of time for yourself. Tori, get the people a last message before we get on out of here.
Date and have fun, get to know people, and like I said, your discernment will let you know who is the right fit for you. I thank you all for tuning in like you always do and show up for me and Tanya on Tuesday. We're nothing without you guys, so continue to show up and show us love. We really appreciate you guys. You guys enjoy the remainder of your Tuesday, and your girl is out.
All right, all right, all right. Y'all, I had a whole lot of fun with this conversation, and I hope you learned just a little bit of something. We don't just talk here just to hear ourselves talking. We're talking about going beyond this. We talked about, let's put the past tense in it. We talked about beyond the swipe, just making those face-to-face connections. Dating is fun. So get out here in this dating world and meet people and see people and look in their face and hear their vocal inflection. Um, there's a lot to learn. And just remember this: don't put the pressure on yourself. You're dating, it doesn't have to go further. You or the other person just may not reciprocate the same interest, and that is okay. The key is just to approach the situation with your genuine interests, approach the situation with a real respect, and just be willing to connect to that person on a deeper level. If it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. You get to say next, and somebody else get all that blessing. You understand what I'm saying? All right, y'all, before we get out of here, before you get back on that clock, I want you to do this for yourself, because we always do this for ourselves. We breathe coming in and we breathe going out. Y'all ready for it? Let's do some breath work. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. So don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. Right? Y'all be great out here. That's what we do.